Can anyone hear me? Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? Hello? Is anyone there? Guys, my last stream that I did yesterday, or earlier today, that was just like a starter. I didn't know anything. Now I'm ready. I'm prepared. Just kidding, I don't know. There's a lot I actually don't know. But whatever. I made it a goal, like if I am gonna be grinding on some games or something, then I'm gonna be doing it on stream, because I'd be putting in a ton of work. What the heck is this? Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the video thing, but I think I got it. Okay. Never mind, I guess. That was Jolly West, and that was the former. I think he was like a CIA or FBI agent. I don't really know exactly which one. But yeah. So yeah, there was a new video that dropped with Tim Dillon and Alex Jones. So I don't know if this is a good idea to put on, but I kind of feel like it is. Sort of. Would he strike me?
Pageants. Maybe he did some stuff he wasn't supposed to.
Sure.
Bring it out. So now the jury's out on Trump. Now he's got to be suspect. But the same people that run Crossfire Hurricane, the fake Russia game, Obama.
Okay, so yeah, I think if I have the OBS window in the same window as the video, then it should be fine. Does that look any different? Is that too dark?
Mossad is going to operate like this on domestic soil. They're going to need a CIA agreement and pass. This goes on for decades. And then you've got Maxwell's dad that was MI6.
Bro, anytime that Alex Jones talks, it's like I just need to be careful about what he says. Is it safe if we listen to it in a whisper? Whatever, okay, fine, whatever. Okay, so I guess it doesn't it doesn't even play the video like when it's in the same window, so it's really weird. I don't know. I have no idea what the deal is with that. Dude, apparently I'm pretty OP in this game. I got gravity and dough. I also have a black cape. I don't think this guy's gonna trade. Well, this is actually a really bad trade. He would have to add. Dough? I have dough. I have it. Apparently dough's like one of the best in the game. Bro, there's like a bug or something living in my throat. I swear. He said dough. I don't have any. I need it. Need what? Okay. Dude, I'm worried about my cat. He'll be in like the same spot. And then he'll be in the same spot for like a minute, and then he'll jump to a different spot, and then he'll go back to the same spot, and then he just will keep doing that, like consecutively, and he'll just do that like 1,000 times. Just go back and forth. And I feel like when he jumps, he's like hitting the ground. Dude, I have dough, you idiot. Yeah, I literally have dough, bro. What do you want? T-Rex? Okay, T-Rex and Buddha. Buddha. I'm not getting ripped off. I don't have it. Well, that sucks. Bro, why would I take that? Please, bro? No. What? It's such a bad deal. People just literally try and rip you off for no reason in this game. I mean, I guess there is a reason. They're just trying to take your fruits, but still. Nice. No, I need more. Oh my god, okay. They're getting into it. God, I don't know if I should even... I don't know if I should, like, literally listen to that or not. I'm a little worried about listening to it. Guys, I don't watch queso. I don't know what you're talking about. I feel like Andrew, this guy Andrew Schultz, he would be the type to copyright strike. So screw that. I feel like would Joe Rogan even be the type? The craziest guest. That's okay. Yo, too lazy to try, bro. Too lazy to try. You're the goat. You are literally the goat. And if you copyright strike me, I will be very sad, but I will try my best to talk over it. Give my own react. Anyways, okay. God, you know when they roll their S's like that.
Things to me is that the faculty have been mostly silent about this.
Well, it sounds worse than that. The faculty's trying to
Some are
enforce some
egging
sort
them
of
on.
mechanism.
Some of them are egging them on, but most, I would say, just aren't saying anything. And I'm talking about tenured senior faculty with
This guy's
lifetime
annoying.
job security are not saying anything. I know many of them have reservations about what's going on, but they won't talk about it. It's really infuriating.
The faculty does have tenure.
Dude, where is this nerd? Oh, there he is, actually. He's here. That's surprising.
You see the problems with this kind of thinking.
But the worst thing that can happen to a white liberal, and I know this, is to be called a racist. That's the worst thing that can happen to you.
Dude, this guy, how does he have so much money?
Really?
How does his bounty is so high?
People believe it.
And that was from a podcast in 2015.
He's a god?
So even before the Jordan Peterson and Brett Weinstein stuff had
What does that
happened,
mean?
which obviously the writing was on the wall, but this guy, he has his own story about being censored.
Check this
while
out.
working at college. He claims in
Check this out.
2012 he was fired because he was white and he was saying stuff you're not supposed to say.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
I think I watched this video actually like when it came out.
probably 10 years ago, after getting fired from Barnard College in Columbia.
It's always a good start when they say when I got fired.
Did you talk about it in the last podcast?
Partly being a white man,
Oh, white
partly
people.
because of my ideas,
Oh.
What ideas? About
probably
crazy.
both those reasons. Yeah, people just, well,
I'm always like curious if I should
supposed to say.
listen to a video if it's like too controversial or not.
A lot of the professoriate.
Dude, that guy gave me so much money.
A black woman also for that job. And then
Dude, he gave me like 60,000. That's crazy. It's probably actually more like 30,000. Still, that's like insane.
Because of your race
Yeah.
specifically. That's what they said?
I was told behind the scenes.
Okay, that was crazy.
How'd they say it?
And also, I saw this article that
Oh.
he wrote in 2010 where he talked about it, and I didn't see him mention anything
Dude, I've just
about
been, like,
him being white.
I feel like I've been riding my bike too much lately. I've been like
that
being
He
sore when I'm
sounds
sitting
like he's
sometimes.
too controversial for colleges.
Heck is
They
that?
just want to keep him out because they can't handle what he's talking about, and he almost makes it sound like his ideas
Yeah,
are
I was
even
gonna say, how is that guy still alive?
liberal for colleges. So that's where he completely differs from Jordan Peterson and the other Joe Rogan intellectual people, because he seems to think everything that's going on at colleges that's destroying them is actually conservative ideas.
As I said the last time I was here, it is inherently
Oh
conservative.
god, this is like a political video, I guess. That's annoying.
They're asking for Big Brother, either the college president or the United States government, to protect us
Yeah.
from ideas and speech and words, right? So then
Trading
we
2
have
shadow
to understand
control,
those people having the
trading
power,
3
having more
control, a gas, a rumble, and more.
power. That doesn't sound very left wing.
I'll trade gravity and dough for gas.
About things like
This,
race
yo,
and gender, right?
that's actually not a good deal.
I will always
But
be
I mean, it's a good deal for
the
me,
thing you
but
don't
not for
like.
him.
Therefore,
Sounds like a
you
good
are
deal for
against
him.
that and the other thing, no matter what, right?
He said what?
That is actually
I'll trade gravity and dough for gas.
modernist.
Oh god, is he already calling me out?
Thinking. That's what these old racist geneticists
It's like, come on, bro.
thought back in the day. It's amazing.
Right here.
SJWs are actually
Trade?
really conservative and ultimately racist.
Alright, so let's get into
Gravity
why he
and
was
dough
fired.
for gas.
Like
I
just
think
said,
that's
he wrote
fair.
this article about it in 2010, but he was fired in 2005. And I'm sure you can tell right from the beginning here, this article is very cringy. And he's always trying to make it seem like what he's teaching in history and the conclusions he makes are all just facts and it's all accurate. And the only reason he was fired is because
Dude,
the
Kitsune
higher
is so
ups there
quick.
aren't open-minded enough to what he's teaching, and he claims they called his ideas improper, frightening, and dangerous. So I guess what they're referring to.
When I was in college, I never had like a liberal teacher or anything. You know? Or like all my teachers were very like by the book, basically. Like I've never had like an emotional connection with my teacher. They were always like old and literally it was like I was talking to a textbook. But now there's all this you know, I'm just gonna leave that right there actually. Hey yo, it's a dragon. Oh god, is he gonna get me? No, anyways, but no, yeah, all my teachers were like I would never get like any sort of advice from my teacher other than like what should I do out like for this question on this homework or whatever, or like maybe what I should do for like maybe what other classes should I take if I want to get this degree. That's it. Otherwise I'm like, or like extracurricular. It's never, but aside from that, I'm never asking them like, oh my god, this person talked to me. This person talked to me, made me feel uncomfortable. Because the teacher would probably either be like, I don't care, or they would be like, oh yeah. Yeah, tell me more. So, yeah, that's why I was always very straight with my teachers. So this, I don't know how I would feel about this guy.
What do you talk about a lot?
TBH.
And what has become like his whole shtick is he talks a lot about the history of the clash between people that are interested in preserving social.
I did have a really cool teacher one time who he was talking about like the history of like freaking, I don't know, like it was like something, it was like memes. Well, I actually asked him about that because it was like jeans and something else. But yeah, that was like the silliest a conversation I ever got with like a teacher. Unfortunately, it's all these crazy stories today.
Social order and people that are interested in pursuing.
Can I trade
desires,
for what,
or
buddy?
like respectable people versus degenerates, or good citizens versus bad. And his conclusion from all this is that the more
Dude, I'm so much cooler than this guy.
Resisted and won, the better it has been for society.
For light.
And the more freedoms we've gained from it. I think that's pretty much the gist of it. So he claims when he was working at Bernard College to be considered for tenure, he had to give a presentation in front of tenured professors.
Dude, I need this guy's gas. I need a gas or I need a leopard. Because I eventually need to work up to a Yeti.
That was before my colleagues.
I'm all about making a profit. So let's see what this guy's offering.
I'm not like every other professor. You guys aren't going to believe what I'm talking about in my class. Like, just listen to this right here. This is rough. He said, I was highly uncomfortable.
Doe and
moving from the
others.
world of weed
I have Doe.
to the world of tweed.
Doe and
I hated
Eagle.
being professor.
I'll
I
give
cursed in
gas or
class.
Leo.
I talked about sex.
I
used
have
politically
Doe
incorrect terms.
and
My
Grav,
students said they had never heard the
Spider,
things I was teaching in
and
class.
Sound.
They called me bad Thad. So
No,
clearly this
no,
guy
I'm not
is
taking
very
light.
full of himself.
I don't know why
He's
people are
always
like
trying too
all
hard to
just
make it seem like he's an outcast in whatever he's doing.
I'll just rip you off like it's all good. What do you mean nah?
He wrote a book about it. He opened a university called Renegade University, and that's obviously
Bro,
part of
Grav
teaching about
is
history.
OP.
And one time Joe even told him it was starting to
I'm gonna
sound
get
pretty
this.
douchey.
I'm gonna get
Yeah,
this
so
fruit from
we're
him.
gonna
I'm gonna
reinvent that.
scam him.
Whether
What?
you're filtering
Nope.
your garage or
Dude,
tackling big
bro,
projects,
bro,
all of that
it's
you
the
will
best,
do with your
best
hands.
deal.
You know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight,
Bro, it's
you
the
can
best
get
deal.
quality
It's not
tools
meta
at
anymore.
prices that work just as hard as you do. Because
Oh, this
the only
guy.
thing more satisfying
This guy's playing it. This guy's trying to scam.
It's coming.
Do you worry about that word being kind of douchey?
Which one?
Renegade?
Oh,
I'd say even T-Rex is better. It's not even close to a good deal. Bro, what? Okay, bro, come on. Okay, gas and Doe for Leo. Come on.
Like, he's doing crazy stuff out there, and the people that are trying to preserve social order are attacking him. They don't
Or
like
not
that.
gas and Doe,
You know,
Graph.
like, them firing from that college.
Graph
If that's
Doe.
even true, it's hard to tell.
I think you might be
because
looking
he's
on the
trying
wrong
so
value
hard to make it
website.
seem
Bro,
like
what?
everything he's doing is so edgy.
Grav and Doe literally equals Leo. What are you talking about?
Was ignored entirely by the New York Times, and I know why, but it didn't really matter. People
Why?
found- Oh, because it says all the things you're not supposed to say.
Dude, this guy is trying to rip me off right now.
Liberal, bi-coastal elite person.
Grav
from
and,
university.
Grav and Leo is
Like,
not. Grav and Doe is not
Martin
Leo to
Luther
me.
King
Well,
was
dude, look it up.
conservative and hated black culture. You know,
Did
like
he really?
yeah, yeah. He was a very conservative person.
Okay, so
culturally.
Leo
He
is
was
55.
Basically an opponent of black culture. He didn't. He
This
was
guy's
opposed to rock and
tripping.
roll.
Like, also on Joe's podcast, he was talking about boxing. He talked about that for a while because he's really into it.
It's 50. There's a
He's
$5 million difference. Leo is actually like a better deal, but only slightly.
My credibility, even though he's talking about this on a massive podcast, and I'm sure they've
Grav and
already
Doe is
talked
not really
about
worth
before on
Leo.
Joe's
Oh my
podcast.
gosh.
So he's always trying to make it seem like he's a
Doe
victim, and he needs to be careful,
goes
or he should be kicked out
okay.
of every college. And he's always talking about how much he hates colleges and how much he hates working there. But I think he still works there. Like, at least at the time of this podcast, he's still working. And it's funny because at the beginning of this clip, he's like, "This is the reason I left."
This guy doesn't know game. He doesn't know real game.
Leave that career. He corrects himself, but I don't know if he did. And it just seems like he likes to complain about it because that's the only thing he has to complain about. Like, here he's literally.
Dude, he said-
complaining about how
He said, "Oh, bro." He said he likes to complain. Dude, you take one look at this guy and you know his conversation is like 90, probably like 80% complaining and then 20% just like building himself up. Nah, he's probably okay.
Don't like people that are physical and like playing sports, so he doesn't fit in with them.
Most academics, and maybe this is one of the reasons I have to leave that profession, or I'm trying to leave that profession.
Ooh,
is
hey,
that
yo,
I've
look at
always
that
been a
sword.
Physical person.
What is
too.
that?
I've always been, just in touch with my body in various ways. I've always been into sports.
Always been in touch with my body. Yo, if I heard my teacher say that, bro, I'd be walking out of the
At
class.
least a lot of them seem to be completely cut off from
I'd be
their
like,
bodies. They just don't
nah.
care what's below the neck. They don't care what they wear.
They
They
don't
don't care how they feel. They certainly don't care how they look.
I don't
Many
think-
of them
I think the goal is to not
talk about things
just
like
not
this,
even
never
care about
fully
what people
down.
wear. That's kind of like the
That's
goal.
problem
I
is
think
to
that would be
look
like
down
what
on it.
people
I think
want.
that's very short.
Like this conversation right now we had about boxing, if you just took that clip, that last 10 minutes, and you put that in front of, and you sent that
Alright,
to
bro,
everybody,
I'm gonna
so-
PvP for it.
I mean,
PvP for
it's
gas.
done. I mean, it's already pretty much done. Yeah, are you serious?
Why wouldn't they just
You-
make
are you
it a
serious?
guy who appreciates
Come on, bro.
boxing?
I love
Give it up.
talking to people who aren't from that world when I tell them about these things, and they're like, "Oh, of course that could be." It's that bad. Well, what is that?
He said bad. Okay. Yeah, you're done.
But yeah, no,
You're
I wanna be a
done.
boxing coach. I definitely a self-censorship going on. that's universal and profound, constant, omnipresent. Like, for instance, you know.
Did he
I can
quit?
talk about
Oh, wait, where'd he
my
go?
love for boxing around academics, or I'm very careful.
He
if I
said
do.
bet.
But it's not even that. It's that we know that there are certain things that can't be said on a college campus. And so
Can
we
you
just don't
roll
say
for
it.
me?
Therefore, there's no need to police us.
What?
There's no need to yell at us and scream at us
Bro,
and protest.
Did he just
What's
like
the
leave?
motivation?
What?
For the senior faculty who have tenure, meaning lifetime appointments, cowardice.
Okay.
That's all it
So
is.
he literally like went outside and then he just
If you
teleported
are
away
an adjunct
in front of
like
him.
me
Just
with no job security,
just
or if you're an
disappeared.
assistant professor
So,
up for tenure,
alright, well.
and if you don't get tenure, you have no career. I don't blame them. I get it. It's what I've done.
Yeah,
too.
being a teacher would
You
be
have to.
So this guy just
be
tries
tough.
way too hard to make it seem like he's an outsider and he doesn't belong in the world of academics, and he's always in fear of losing his job. Like every Joe Rogan appearance, he's always like, "Oh, I got to be careful here. You know, I'm gonna get in trouble for this." But it sounds like he really. doesn't have
being a
job.
teacher would
The
suck,
one thing he
dude.
did get in trouble for
I mean, it would be
could be
okay,
exaggerating, but also
but I feel like
maybe he's just.
I mean, it would be
teaching
okay
that
like
stuff.
20 years
Like
ago.
this comment from this Reddit post towards the end here, like halfway down this last paragraph. This person said his response to academic criticism of his ideas
Mainly
is
because now you have to. There's like so many opportunities to kind of grow your career, or to get like get attention. That now it's like you can easily get negative attention, which is not good.
Failure of his academic peers that goes against the core ideal of peer review in academia. He couldn't get his ideas published in academic circles, so he published it for pop consumption. That doesn't inspire confidence in the material. So that sounds pretty accurate. You know, it seems like he has this personal issue with what's going on in colleges. He feels like since they didn't accept his ideas, then they're trying to censor him, and it's a freedom of speech issue. And like I played in the beginning on Joe's podcast, he would talk about this a lot.
Started a year
And
ago.
during the second podcast, like the whole beginning, he's talking about how bad censorship is and how it's getting hard to teach because it's so bad. And then right after
Can I
that,
get one, actually?
Joe, he said that some transgender
give me
people
that.
are crazy, and Thaddeus got all offended, and he's like, "Are you sure you should be using that word? Are you sure you should be calling people crazy?" And him and Joe got into this argument about what crazy means and if they should use it at all, like if it stops people from being.
Dude, I got
free or
another
something.
sound.
And it's so weird because this is right after he got.
I don't
about
need
how
sound,
people get too
honestly.
offended easily, and how it's bad to censor words.
and I'm misgendering and I'm insensitive and rude, well, there's a slight possibility you might be crazy. And if you decide that you're a fox, do I call you a foxkin? Like, what do I do now? And
Well,
behaviors.
You don't want to call them crazy, though, do you?
Some of them are crazy.
How do you know that?
Well, I think
Can I
some
store
people
two?
are
I don't
crazy.
think I can.
I would assume that there's a certain amount of people in this world, whether it is 1% or 1/10 of 1%, that are crazy.
Define crazy.
Sorry, bro.
Insane, ridiculous, preposterous.
Well, that's been said about people who get punched in the face for a living.
Sure, a lot of them are
Right.
crazy. That's true, though. But it's true.
So if you really want to allow people to do whatever they want,
Certainly.
then don't call them crazy.
I mean, this is kind of
Why
a
does that
valuable
have any
fruit, bro.
effect on whether or not
I
they
really
do
would
what they
rather
want?
not
saying
get rid of
stop
it.
it.
Some of my favorite people doing whatever they want are
Well, but don't
crazy.
you want to encourage people to do
Here,
whatever
I'll
they
drop it for one of these losers
to be
here.
free,
I'll drop it
I do,
for
but I don't
one of these
think
guys
that
over here,
calling someone
right behind
crazy for
Zyles.
crazy behavior stops that. And if it does, then maybe you're not
Yeah.
free enough.
Yeah, again, they should not care too much about what you
Sure.
think. That's my main point
Oh,
here.
he got it. He took it.
But if you're really
Did you just use
in
it?
favor of making people feel free to make whatever choices they
Oh.
want, then using terms like insane and crazy is not helpful.
These are conditions that are they're not crazy.
To be
I
free.
definitely do, but I don't think that
Joe-
calling someone crazy for crazy
Joe is like,
behavior stops
he's just
that.
like
And if it
puffed
does,
up
then
completely.
Maybe you're not free enough.
Yeah, again, they should not care too much about what you
Sure.
think. That's my main point here.
Mhm.
But if you're really in favor of making people feel free to make whatever choices they want, then using terms like
I
insane
wish
and
I could
crazy
re-equip
is not
Perm
helpful.
Dragon.
These are conditions that are psychological, mental conditions that you could say this person's crazy. Like when you see a bodybuilder and they can't stop getting bigger because they're out of their mind. They look at themselves in the mirror and they think they're tiny.
I'm
and
a
so
little
they're
bit bored of
350
this.
pounds and they're doing steroids and lifting weights 24 hours a day. You can say that guy's crazy, right?
No.
What? You can't.
No.
Okay, you're in this weird PC area now that you have kind of accepted because you go to school and you teach and you're a part of it now. But that's a crazy person.
I would be weirded out if my teachers were
Talking about
PC.
A man who's a bodybuilder who lifts so much weight that his body is like virtually exploding, and they have a dysmorphia where they cover themselves up because they always look tiny. You don't think that there's a psychological condition there?
There's a psychological condition.
And doesn't that make you crazy?
What does crazy mean? I mean,
we're getting
again,
semantics here.
doing jujitsu is called crazy. You know, I mean,
It is.
being a professor has been called crazy.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So why do you have issue with the word crazy then?
Because you're pathologizing people's choices. You're saying
I'm pathologizing people's choices if they lift weights until their body explodes. I knew a dude.
Yeah.
I love that
He
guy.
did that. He was
Super
a
God Goku.
bodybuilder, and he died. I think he was like 31 or 32. We used to call him garden hoses because his arms had veins that were like garden hoses. They were these giant. I mean, it was insane. You looked at him, you'd never seen a human being like him. He would lift weights. He was a
Okay,
white
this
guy,
guy's
like
got
as white as
Zeke.
you. He was
He's got
fucking
Boral.
purple. I mean,
Doesn't have the
purple.
cook.
He was just 80% steroids.
It's kinda
his
weird.
body was just overrun. He was out of his mind. He was definitely crazy.
This guy's
Would you
probably
call
got the
that guy
cook.
crazy?
no.
He
Yeah.
lifted weights until he died. You don't think that's crazy?
What about martial artists?
So do you not use crazy at all? Is that what's going
What
on?
about martial artists?
Do you use crazy? Do you use the term crazy?
And he does use the term crazy. Just later on in this podcast, he ends up calling Nixon crazy. And Joe's like, whoa. Like right after this whole argument, then he calls somebody crazy.
Nixon being gay?
Yeah, never heard that? Yeah, somebody wrote a book about it recently.
Nixon was definitely crazy, but he was
What?
Yeah, no, he was an unusual man. That's for sure.
Yeah, he was definitely unusual.
So this guy can't even keep up with his own bullshit. And the one who
Crazy.
thinks he is the definition of crazy. Like he wants to be an outsider so badly.
This guy's just kind of weird, dude. He's just a little odd. Oh snap! I was watching this video.
Now we gotta go help people customize and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Maybe where's the golf cart?
Naturally. So,
Now we gotta go help people customize and save hundreds with
What
Liberty
the hell was that?
Maybe where's the golf cart?
video sponsored by Ground News.
So I was watching this other video that was on, I think it was on like the Epstein files, and I'm pretty sure like the beginning of it, it was like sponsored by the New York Times, and then in the video there was like a source quoting the New York Times, and I was like, what? That's like such an obvious. It's like I don't know if it's right, but it's like such an obvious like bias. Like what is that, bro? Dude, can I just stream another live streamer right now? Like, come on, guys.
The year is 2021, and Dalton is a village in the township of Thornton.
I don't trust it. I don't trust it. What time is it? It's 10:10. What the heck was that? What the you doing? That guy's crazy. Crazy animal. He's living in my apartment. It's pretty cool though. It's pretty cool. All right, let's get this.
Cook County.
My laptop is doing the
It's around
airplane
20 miles
airplane
south
fan
of
again.
Chicago,
and home to roughly 20,000 people. 30 years ago, it's a fairly nice place, but now, not quite. A dire job market, regular shootings, corrupt officials with financial mismanagement, public fitness centres being hired out for strip shows.
Alright, I'm gonna be locked into this video.
Had had enough.
Is it Chicago?
Something has to change.
Yes. Something
In
has to
April,
change.
it's Dalton's mayoral election, and this year, a woman named Tiffany A. Henyard has entered the ring for the first time. Born and raised in the village, she'd been a trustee, a locally elected official on the village board, voting for things like budgets and contracts for 8 years now. She also has a bachelor's degree in business administration and an entrepreneurial background, owning her own burger restaurant. And now, she's just
Okay, the obligatory break. She seems pretty smart. Just gotta say, she seems pretty smart there. She's a smart puppy.
clinched the Democratic
Sounds
nomination
like.
for Dalton's mayor and is running against
Okay, one second.
independent
Hold up.
candidate. Her campaign message was clear: unity. It's time for change. We need love, transparency, and accountability, she says. Lots of knocking on
I'm
doors,
gonna play it safe.
handing out flyers. And on April 8th, the votes come in. And she won. Bigly.
No, the smart woman won.
Tiffany Henyard is now the first female and at 37 years of age, youngest mayor of Dalton.
That's a big
The
accomplishment.
village was saved.
The village was saved, or was it?
May 8th, 2021, Tiffany Henyard is sworn in. The after party is big. It goes hard. So
Or
big,
was
so
it
hard.
big?
It ends up costing around
Was it
$15,000.
small?
But it's fine.
Can we
Tiffany
can
says her
we
campaign
knock
is
that guy
covering
out, bro? What are we
all
doing?
expenses. A few days later, and the administration comes together. She
Uh,
meets her staff, who she's calling her dream team, and board meetings go ahead as usual. This is during COVID, so these are currently on Zoom.
Okay,
And
cool.
things start off pretty good. There's this Stop the Violence thing in June, the first fireworks show in Dalton in over a decade in July, a walk for cancer in the autumn. Also, some door-to-door knocking for police feedback, a few food giveaways, some tree trimming, bouncy castles. Things are all right.
Those guys are
She
pretty
apparently
tanky.
has this big calendar of things she wants to do. Loads of events, giveaways, etc. And it's not long before she's calling herself the People's Mayor and Super Mayor. Towards the end of 2021, however, and problems begin to brew. In the village, a teenager has been left dead after a fatal police shooting.
Oh
And
gosh.
Henyard is publicly siding with the
Oh,
officers
that's
involved.
crazy, bro.
This is not
Obligatory break. That's a crazy thing. Dude, I could not imagine being in a town where violence is like a common occurrence. I mean, it probably is. There's like a lot of homeless near me, but yeah, I feel like I could like comfortably walk at nighttime, not be too worried. Yo, what are these guys made of? Oh, let's go. Dude, my cat is just a crazy animal. Oh, sorry, jeez.
popular, and protests spring up outside her home. 20 officers show up for security.
Why is he
In
so
September,
weak?
The super mayor hires a registered sex offender. He'd spent a quarter century in prison for crimes involving minors, and had just got out in 2018.
These guys are
Henyard
just so
allegedly knows
weak.
about this.
Why is
and
he
decides to
struggling?
make him a code enforcer. Basically, he's employed specifically to go around knocking on people's doors and into their homes for inspection.
Okay, well that was
For some
kind of
reason,
worrying, so I'm
this
gonna
doesn't
have
go
to
down well.
deploy
Protesters
the
in street
strongest in
and rush
history.
for the pool. However, now calls on Henyard to resign are beginning to flow. In October, her new code enforcer was accused of lying during the offender registration process and rearrested. Despite all of this, he keeps the job for almost.
Just gonna level him up, level this one up, and then I'm gonna skip
and a
wave.
woman named Dorothy Brown is in the news too. She's the former Cook County Court clerk. Basically, she's been in charge of one of the largest court systems in the country
Do
for around
something,
20
bro.
years. Those years, not great. And she'd end up stepping down in 2020 after years of federal investigations, corruption probes, and multiple employees convicted of bribery and misconduct and arrested. Henriette describes
There we
her as
go.
her godmother
That was
and
good, that was
mentor,
good.
and she is now the village administrator. Naturally, back in May, the board had a few questions about this, but it was fine. She'll be transitional, Henriette tells them. She's going to be there, max, a few months. So they agree and vote her in.
She'll be
And now,
transitioning.
she's on the taxpayer payroll again, at around 100K a year.
Bro,
But fast
don't
forward to October,
freaking
and
take
she's
my
still
money,
there.
bro. I hate, oh
It's
my god, I
coming
hate
up to 6
taxes so
months
much.
now, and not so much as an online job posting for the role.
It is so stupid.
Henriette's trustees not happy. In November, Henriette decides to make some changes. With recent events, a variety of concerns.
God,
are coming
Sukuna
from
is the
job
goat.
meetings. And since the
Such
start
a
of
goat.
COVID, this has been done through the live chat function of YouTube. But now, chat's getting muted.
Do I
Got
want?
a complaint? Well, here's an email address. Send it there, and we'll definitely read it out during the stream. Trustees' microphones are also being muted, and they're not a big fan of this. They rage quit, and the meeting is adjourned. Some rough waters here and there, but overall, Henriette ends her first year of contract. The village had hired 2 police personnel, 3 firefighters, and had just begun the
Okay, I
process
think he
of
needs to be a
opening
bit
that
stronger.
firehouse, she says. She's also delivered a
Yeah,
balanced
I think I
budget
can-
that was implemented on time.
Actually, that was
Something
good.
was rare for the village. She'd had some hurdles, but
Oh,
overall,
okay, yeah, they
she's
handled
doing
that pretty
great,
well, actually.
she says. Before that, the modern media landscape.
God, I'm sorry. My posture is so bad.
Live from London, this is BBC.
Misinformation, bias, lies, wildly different headlines coming from all directions. Absolute bedlam. But with ground
the heck was
news,
that?
things are different. Ground
Hey,
news
yo,
is a
okay,
small,
bro.
independent team
Okay, bro, I'm not
and
getting
see
any
things
money
for
from
what they
this.
are. Now, and a man named and see things for what they are. And for a limited time, you can scan the QR code here or punch in ground.news/Big Boss and get the same Vantage plan I use.
Oh wow, I thought the video was playing for a second. Never mind. Never mind. It's
In January,
just my
the
dreams.
village administrator role is finally filled. Dorothy Brown is out. and a
Okay,
man
I
named
think
Keith
I'm going
Owen
to
steps
get
in,
some more
joining the
Zeeks.
Green Team, which is now quickly becoming a nightmare. There's a massive rift growing between Henriette and the trustees.
Massive
and they're
grift.
currently outright refusing to work with each other. People in the village are also starting to notice something. Her name and face. They're popping up. Quite
Was that like a Left 4 Dead sound?
almost every village scheme, event, poster, pretty much every social media post, and there she is. Even on the village hall itself. In fact, if you go to Dalton on Google Maps, 2 pictures come up.
I think we're doing
This is
good.
one of them. She's also on Instagram, and she's posting a fair amount there too. Vlogs, selfies, dancing, parties, and a lot of singing. Some of the posts are interesting.
Sexy woman. Happy birthday, Super Mayor.
And some
Nah, no
bold
happy birthday to
statements
you.
made.
Suck.
Had the dream, but guess what? I am the dream.
She's also mowing a few lawns and ploughing some snow. And she wants you to know about it.
I help everyone. It doesn't matter what you do or say about me.
Okay,
Also,
okay. Oh
a lot
no,
of
I
crossing out
piled them together
shoots
again.
and music
Oh god,
videos.
this was a fatal mistake last
The
time. I
village
forgot
is
about that.
clearly in good hands.
Oh no. Oh god. I
In
forgot about
March,
that.
the supervisor of Thornton Township,
So bad.
the head of the governing township of Dalton, is
Um,
and his position is now up for grabs. Now, Thornton is the largest township in Illinois.
That's quite big.
Okay,
It
let's
has
get these
around
both leveled up to
160,000 residents
max.
and oversees 17
I like the
towns and
low
villages,
level up cost. That's really
one
nice,
of which
actually.
our little village of Dalton. So this is no small position. In the running for new supervisor, 9 potential picks. And Tiffany is last on the ballot, so things aren't looking too great for her.
Tiffany.
But regardless, the township trustees gather and voting kicks off. And she'd won again. For the second time, she's the youngest person and first woman to fill the role. She'd now be controlling both village and township level budgets. Naturally,
Bro,
some people
don't
voice
give this
concerns,
woman money.
conflict
Don't
of
give her
interest,
our money.
consolidation of power, financial mismanagement,
Okay,
etc.
okay, let's go, let's
These
go.
concerns are quickly brushed off.
God, what should I do?
Thornton was safe.
Dude, I'm worried. Please don't disappear my units like you did earlier.
I
I think we're good. Hopefully nothing new happens.
To another place, a Thornton trustee says,
Hi, Tom.
and it would.
Oh no, what's he
April
doing?
10th, and Tiffany is sworn in as supervisor.
God,
She now
I'm so
has
worried.
a 50k Dalton salary with a nice new 220k snapped on top. That's a combined salary of almost 300k. More than the state's governor. She wastes no time getting settled in. And in Thornton Township Hall,
Okay, I think
heads
Sukuna
roll.
can hold him off.
The township's executive assistant is immediately fired, alongside a few others. And
Hopefully,
that's
just
the township
yeah, as long as we can
manager's
actually attack
back in
the
Dalton,
enemy.
and more
That's
issues
pretty
brewing.
important.
See, in the US, there's a thing called the Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA. It's a law that gives the public the right to access government records, internal
That was way too easy.
financial documents like invoices and budgets, stuff like that. And turns out there's a ton of
Oh God, what should I do? What should I put on? I wanna make some hot cocoa or something. Oh my gosh. Can I just... No, I don't even want to have my wallpaper up. Can't. Okay, you know what? I'll BRB. Maybe my cat will keep you entertained. In your dreams, Tom. In your dreams. In your dreams, baby. Stop it. You are a rambunctious can. It's time for second dinner. Do I need to buy some chips or something? I need to buy more chips. Mountain Dew. Who's a good geek? Tom with the kids. Come on, stop being greedy. You're so cute. Shit, we're back. Back. Back in action.
With these requests coming in. You know what?
Okay, so basically this girl is like really bad at money? Or is it like another George Santos type thing?
Looking for a slew of documents. Village finances, licenses, permits, contracts, personnel details, and so on.
It's weird.
So Henriette tells her village administrator, just don't respond to any of them. Genius. However, this is illegal.
Yo, this is fire.
So in April, the village clerk files a lawsuit against her. Trustees have also just voted to sue her. There's a series of complaints here, but conflict of interest, hiring and firing without her approval, and using Dalton's
Pretty
checkbook like an open credit card. She's also apparently just dishing out village checks to people.
Dude, if my mayor was using my money, my hard-earned money, for parties and stuff, or just throwing it away to her friends, I would stop paying for good.
With only her signature and the clerk's signature stamped. However, this is without the clerk's knowledge or board approval. Also, the clerk's access to village bank account information, well, that's just been revoked. Trustees of the village could no longer actually see what's going on with finances. But it's fine. It takes
They
it
take
upon
away
itself
the
to
visibility?
host a big bingo, a traditional bingo night for village seniors. It had now been quite a few months of turbulence, and despite some phenomenal work,
My cat is crazy.
people in the village aren't too impressed. And on top, the
People in the village?
financial mismanagement and conflicts of interest.
Who? Wait, did bro just really call it a village unironically?
And despite some it on herself to host Big Bingo, a traditional bingo night for village seniors. It had now been quite a few months of turbulence, and despite some phenomenal work, people in the village aren't too impressed. And on
Is there a reason he's calling it a
issues
village?
of financial mismanagement and conflicts of interest, and things are reaching boiling point. Residents, trustees, the village clerk, everyone is just appalled. How could this be happening? She'd been so professional before.
There's nothing in the application, and
just less than a year
Bro,
in,
I feel like a dog could do better. Like a literally dog mayor.
not the right person for the job, so they go rogue and scramble to pass through a public vote to recall her. One issue: Dalton doesn't actually have a recall process.
God,
so
the
they
boss
decide
is coming.
To assemble one themselves, and in June, 2 questions are added to Dalton's ballot. The first, to establish a recall mechanism, and the second, to recall Tiffany.
Dude, what do these guys think they're doing?
Y'all go and vote no to the recall because my work speaks for itself.
And both go through with 56% of the vote. It was over. Voters had nipped things in the bud and taken her out. Henyard was gone.
She's gone.
Hold on. Before she steps down, a Cobb County judge chimes in. That vote had procedural issues. Also, the question...
Procedural
way too
issues.
confusing. So he declares the vote invalid. She's staying in. So for Tiffany, celebrations.
And I just want people to understand I'm happy. Leave me alone, 'cause I am.
And signs begin to appear around town. I'm your forever mayor.
After she won the recall, she put a sign around town.
I already hate this girl.
Which
Fiery passion.
Her first
Just kidding.
board meeting, she still looks like this.
Yeah, I know. Ain't no stopping the sound. Hey, thanks for coming out. I appreciate that. Okay. I see you.
You guys eat your chips like that? Just like a cup of water?
I feel you.
By summer 2022,
It's literally like the same as I drink my hot cocoa. That cocoa.
This is where I, the mayor,
It's almost the same.
Dr. Son, hearsay.
Now, historically, Dalton Village Board meetings have
What are we doing
a
here?
thing called Citizens Address. This is where members of the public get a chance to speak to the mayor and trustees directly,
3:15.
asking questions about what they've just discussed and voted for, and for their concerns.
This place
to
by the
which the
book.
mayor and trustees would respond. However, Tiffany has a different idea, and Citizens Address becomes public comment. People can still make statements and ask questions.
Oh my gosh. These chips are amazing. Oh.
Removing entirely.
You think they're converting the police and military over to gangbangers and crooks? Just because it's fun and because they want to give you some power? Humanity's gonna come together. We know we're under attack!
In September, Harriet decides to do some good, so she sets up the Tiffany Cares Foundation, a non-profit charity supporting people with
We needed to
cancer.
do that.
In October, she even organizes a march to Springfield, a 10-day bike ride to the state capital.
Yeah, it was
to try
essential.
and pass a bill that would
Holy
give tax
cow.
breaks to
That was
cancer
close.
patients.
I have created a bill to give everybody $5,000 if you are suffering from cancer.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, no.
The year is now 2023.
Guys, FYI, just don't take money from the government.
Crime is rising.
Just don't take money from the government. Ever.
And Tiffany Henyard is currently constructing a $115,000 ice rink in the middle of the village. The board would never approve it.
I like how he's calling it a
So
village.
Henyard slid an under-the-table payment to a contractor, and they got to work.
Makes it so much cozier.
The board eventually finds out and halts the payments. So Henyard shifts some cash to a separate contractor. And
Dude, get him. Get him. Oh my god, bro. This is stressing me out right now.
And on Saturday, the 25th of February, it's the grand.
Okay.
2, 1.
We're playing this by the book.
And the Justice Rink is open to all. Tiffany is quite excited.
It's your mayor, Tiffany A. Henyard, the people's mayor.
Dude, this bag was so good. This bag of Doritos. Guys, I don't really have, like, any unhealthy food.
This is us on ice right here. See?
However, after that, the rink's closed. That is one of the only times the public will be allowed in to actually ice skate. Turns out, maintaining an ice rink, quite expensive.
What the heck are you doing, dude?
What's this? This ain't enough. Made it enough.
They also have no staff to operate it. They couldn't even afford that if they wanted it. So from now on, it's essentially Henyard's own personal ice rink. Only open on events account.
It was only open when she was having an event there, and she invited the residents to come there to her.
I would hate this
event.
mayor. Is she still?
That's all I tell them. I got a feeling.
Whatever this sound is pissing me
Second ice
off.
rink is also
Okay, all right.
a second ice rink.
Ugh. Oh.
It's also apparently in the works. Okay, trustees seriously not impressed. They can't see the exact financials, but they know things in the village aren't great. So
If they're doing this and then also fucking, and they're wasting my money too, it's over. It's game over.
About this, and she's not pleased. So in March, she walks up to a village board meeting dressed as a crack cocaine dealer from a movie.
Here she is starting a Dalton Village board meeting, dressed like the Wesley Snipes character in the movie New Jack City.
She also has a DJ who's blasting the song Bitch Better Have My Money.
Pay me what you owe me. Thank you, DJ. I just had a question. And I'm looking for that Rihanna.
I'm good with you. I'm good with
Dude, don't give this person any more dollars at all. Give her some 2 cents to get out of town.
I did come as a scene from Mark. I made fun about it and did a skit and posted it on my TikTok just to show people my sense of humor side.
In May, Tiffany and her staff pack their bags. It's time for business. And they take a plane to Vegas for an economic development trip. The same month, a Thornton Township employee is found with a bag of weed and an unregistered gun hidden under a government car seat.
Under a government car seat?
I know they don't. You know, y'all got a magazine in the vehicle that let y'all do that? What?
He's arrested. The police in Dalton, interesting. Ever since those protests outside the house a couple of years ago,
Why was he crying, bro?
Of at least 3 officers around her at all times. Her own personal motorcade, driving her around everywhere, even while she's running errands. And apparently, she's running the town like a mob boss with them. In July, a former trustee and vocal critic of Henyard wakes up to find a dozen bullet holes in her tenants' cars, parked outside the house.
Oops. Were those my bullet holes?
Before that, Henyard had
It's so
turned up
stupid.
with a caravan of police and city workers, and before that, a snowplow.
I'm like, oh, you called me? Oh, no. We have that response. Look. And I'm helping her. I help everyone. It doesn't matter what you do or say about me. Everyone needs help. Just remember that.
Dude, when people are like spouting about helping so many other people,
Safe to say, she has
you're just a
suspicions
weirdo.
about who did it. So she goes to the police to report the shooting, but they're not interested. They won't even give her a police report, fine. Also, own a bar in town and just refused a political donation to Henry. Expect a knock on the door. Because police are allegedly also going around town.
Dude, no, my
raiding
cat is
bars
going to
and
the bathroom
shooting
again, bro. I
licenses.
can't.
This happens to both Pablo's and Frinky's bar and cafe, with around 10 police cars
Bro.
holding them and pounding down the doors. Customers are apparently pushed out the way and threatened with arrest, and licenses are revoked for both.
All the employees, they're gonna lose their job. It's ridiculous. We all have mouths to feed. We all have kids. They're not giving us no explanation.
Lacey's Place, another chain of bars, fails their license renewal.
Alright, whatever. Just open all my doors, I guess. Open everything.
Shut down back in January. They'd just turned down a $3,500 donation.
Dude, what is
A
Suit
ton
gonna
of
do?
places are also having issues getting licenses in the first place. The suspected plan for this was simple. Endlessly delay signing off on licenses needed by businesses to open up shop, despite the village board approving it, cutting off revenue, while they still have to pay rent, tax, and general overhead.
Dude, if someone could invent a tool that makes it so cats just don't poop,
Eventually, facing bankruptcy,
that would be amazing. I would love that. I'd buy it right now. Right now.
And once it's in our hands, look at that. I think the license
What is going on with
ready
these
to go.
guys?
The business is instantly profitable, and the location is flipped for a nice chunk of change. This almost happens to St. Patrick's, a newly built 3-story restaurant in the village. The liquor license had been approved by trustees, but Henyard says no, refusing to sign off on it for over 6 months. However, they sue, and she's eventually forced to sign by a county judge. There's also a local woman who bought a whole strip mall to turn into a non-profit food bank for half the county. However,
Oh my god, that was so good.
and her permits and licenses are delayed for months on end, while she still
Dude, I
has to
can't
pay
believe my cat
property
just
tax,
really did that.
rent,
Makes so
overhead,
sad.
and more.
If this isn't able to be funded, whose pocket does it come out of right now?
Mine?
In September, reports begin to trickle out, and turns out that police detail of hers, not cheap. It's actually costing the village hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Her officers are paid quite handsomely, and they're putting in some substantial overtime. One officer
I think my
was
cat
paid
just pooped.
303 hours
God,
of
this is
work
so
in a
annoying.
2-week period. That's 21 hours a day, every day.
I do 21 hours.
This results in a single overtime paycheck of around $30,000.
What the heck was that?
The overtime checks.
Did he just attack my unit?
Officers up a tax bracket here.
Hey, mind if I ask you a couple of questions about your security detail?
Absolutely not.
I'm asking her.
Yeah, she said no.
You need security to protect you from questions from reporters?
That motorcade, not cheap either. The village paid $150,000 for one Chevy Tahoe.
Yeah, let's kill these enemies, bro.
Around 40%
You know?
of that
What the hell are we doing?
That's like when you're 19 years old and you go get a car and the interest rate
What?
27%. That makes absolutely no sense.
Bro,
You're
why is
gonna
my
get a rate
Sukuna
that's
stunned?
please stay. Cash price of a 2023 Chevy Tahoe, $93,216.71. Total lease price, $149,146.20. Tell me if it's not facts.
Oh god, yeah, he definitely just pooped everywhere. That's crazy. That's crazy he would do that. It's messed up. BRB. Dude, too lazy to try as a goat. He's goated. Blizzard is worse than you thought. I think Blizzard is pretty bad. Oh God.
Imagine being able to build anything, for any reason, in any style.
I just bought this watermelon for like $8. Maybe a little expensive to pay for a watermelon, but not bad. I was curious about the price of a watermelon.
expensive
because
watermelon.
recently I saw a photo of a watermelon on a supermarket shelf that cost 61 Australian dollars, which is like 37 US. $37 for a watermelon.
$37 for a watermelon?
In this supermarket, on this island, a country called Nauru, that sits in one of the most remote patches of the South Pacific.
I ain't paying
Of
that.
just ocean. That
Wait,
watermelon
what did
had
you
to
just get?
travel a long way to get to Nauru. And that's because they can't grow watermelons on the island itself. In fact, these days, they can't really grow much on their island. Not anymore.
Got that.
Most people
Got
don't know much
that.
about Nauru.
Got a lot of those.
But I've become obsessed with their story. They used to be one of the richest countries in the world. And then they lost it all. And in their desperation, looking for an
Interesting.
economic miracle, they made some pretty sketchy deals. I'm making this video because Nauru is in the process of their next.
Alright, add all that and he's only like
miracle.
3
It has
levels
to
up.
do with these apple-shaped metal balls. And this guy, who is the CEO of the company that wants to harvest these from the bottom of the ocean.
Why would you do that?
I see the tiniest island nation in the world and just wonder
So from
how they will be able
15
to stand up for
to
themselves.
23.
They don't have any other option.
323?
Well, billions of these apples sit
Dude,
on
that's
the
so
ocean
bad.
floor, 4 kilometers underwater. So we've been mapping this patch of ocean, looking at all the lines and boxes that different countries and international bodies
So
have
much
been
better.
drawing around this patch of ocean as they prepare to potentially harvest all these minerals. While these little metal rocks sit quietly on the ocean floor, the humans up on the surface are debating fiercely about what to do with them, who's entitled to them, who's allowed to make money off of them, what will happen to this ecosystem that we don't really know much about if we harvest these little balls. And right when we were about to
What are they
publish this
called?
video, the new administration in the United States changed everything, saying that they're making plans to potentially bypass the rest of the world and just go down here with no one's.
So yeah, if there are all these balls at the bottom of the ocean, I don't know, like wouldn't you want to like keep that there just in case, like there's a reason those balls are down there? I wouldn't mess with them personally. But I guess to each their own.
Permission to harvest all of these metal balls.
And I think people's
What the heck
patience
are they?
will
Just
run
metal
out.
balls?
If they overplay their hand, then it will be on their
watch that lawlessness might come back to the high seas.
Wow. I mean, I would love some more specifics on that if you could give me anything else.
That's all I got for you now.
This is from an interview like months ago, and I didn't know what Jared meant by that, but now I do.
President Trump
I don't trust people who just talk in weird, like riddles like that.
Global review process, which is still under debate.
And strangely, Nauru, with their expensive watermelons and remote location, is right at the center of this debate. Even though they're thousands of kilometers away from this patch of ocean. I promise it'll all make sense soon. We have been working on this story for like a year now. I've gone deeper and deeper than I ever thought we could. We've been talking to all sides, to people who deeply disagree with each other. From the environmental experts, to the international law experts, to a billionaire ocean explorer, to the president of French...
A billionaire ocean explorer? Are you kidding me?
It's the last frontier, it's the last frontier of human madness.
And of course to the CEO of the company that most eagerly wants to harvest these little metal balls. I had a lot of help for this story from my friend Joss over at Howtown and my producer Mariana, who has been investigating this for years. We've been working on it for
Why would he harvest the balls at the bottom of the
So
ocean?
let's start with the story of Nauru itself. Because
Is it because P stored in the balls?
This island, this patch of ocean, and this company all got wrapped up with one another. And ultimately, I'm trying to figure out if going after all these little metal apples on the sea floor is a great idea or a horrible one.
It's horrible.
Are you a Roblox fanatic? Microsoft Rewards has a brand new way for you to earn digital gift cards from Roblox.
Dude, ads are fucking weird. I would never have seen this like a month ago. So invasive.
Let's really quickly go way back,
God.
like millions of years ago. And look at what was happening here in this deep ocean. Today it's called the Clarion-Clipperton Zone. But back then, humans and their labels didn't exist yet. But deep underwater, something was forming.
Wow.
Get ready to have your mind blown at how deep the ocean really is. There's the World Trade Center.
Okay. Wow.
And soon after, here at 1,000 meters, there's no light. So we're gonna fake the light. Just
Bro, that's so freaky. That's so scary. There's literally like a whole world down there. Oh my god, that was so bad.
so that you're looking at a black screen. And now we're kind of in an alien world. And you see some weird looking fish.
Hold on.
Just keep on.
I lost my
So
perspective.
Soon after, here at 1,000 meters.
Okay, so that's the World Trade Center. It's pretty big. Okay, I need some water. Stop. Keep getting in trouble. Alright, we're in it. We are in it. Oh my god. That was amazing. so good.
There's no light. So we're gonna fake the light, just so that you're not looking at a black screen.
Okay, so
We're
there's a
kind of in
World
an
Trade Center.
alien world. And you see some weird
Bro.
looking fish, and yet we just keep on going.
Dude.
Here's what the Titanic eventually would end up once
Oh,
it was
wow.
3,800 meters below the surface. We keep going.
That's crazy.
And eventually, we arrive. At this zone about 5 kilometers under the water.
I can
The
swim
water's
there.
almost freezing down.
I can swim there, no problem.
It's incredibly quiet. Because of course it is. There's not much going on. The weight of all of this water makes the pressure down here unfathomable.
Wow, that's insane.
So does anything live down here?
I can imagine going down
Low
there.
abundance of life, but a high diversity.
That's my friend Joss. Her and Adam Cole run the YouTube channel Howtown, and they made a video about life down here and how we know it exists, how we study it. We'll be talking more to Joss later on. But for the purposes of this video, a lot of what you find here on the seabed are these. Lumpy, often apple-sized balls of metal, just chilling on the sea floor. These are called polymetallic nodules.
I hate this. Polymetallic nodule, also known as manganese nodule, a potato-sized rock-like formation found on the ocean floor. They enrich valuable metals like nickel, copper, cobalt, and manganese. They make a potential resource for Mars' sustainable future. These nodules form over millions of years through slow precipitation of metal compounds. So, well, we're just gonna go down and get those, I guess. Just gonna go down. Sure.
And look, there's just billions of them down here. These things have been slowly growing, a millimeter or two every million years.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Flecks
they
of
don't
metal
grow.
float to this deep sea and clump together.
6 out of 6.
Layer by layer, for
See some
millions
animals.
of years. But back up on the surface, some clever primates are shedding their fur and standing upright. They're growing remarkably large brains.
Dude, my stomach grows.
They'll take over the whole planet. They'll map it and control it, and they'll start fixating on this remote ocean, on these little balls down here. Partly because they think they need them to save themselves from a disaster in the climate. But not yet. So while all these little metal balls were forming, another very slow process is happening up on the surface. Birds are pooping on an island. This island will someday be called Nauru, and this bird poop will someday be very valuable.
What? The bird poop?
What? It's a popular rest stop for seabirds. So over thousands and thousands of years, all these bird droppings start to pile up into white mountains that grow on this island, layer after layer. And with time, the bird poop starts to harden and chemically transform into a rock-like formation.
It's kind of nasty.
Okay, we're now at the point of the story where the humans enter the scene.
Our ancestors lived on those double-hulled canoes, and
God,
they
the humans are here.
crossed the biggest ocean in the world. We are people of the ocean. There's no separation between land and sea.
Micronesians and Polynesian
Are they
settlers
even
come to
coming?
Nauru. They live off the ocean, they cultivate the land.
What?
But with time, adventurous Europeans would
Why was that
begin
taking so
exploring the
long?
world, and they would happen on this impossibly remote island. It's the late 1700s, and Germany has an
Don't worry, I'm talking. I'm breaking up the video. That looks like the German flag colors. Very nice.
empire. In the late 1800s, they
Oh my God.
annexed this little island. And they do what Europeans are doing everywhere at this point, bringing with them city diseases, wiping out traditional customs and leadership structure, and telling themselves that they're civilizing these locals. And after a while,
Let's see if we can
focusing
actually
on
beat
this
them.
mountain of bird poop,
Oh God, I want like another cup of hot
Turn
cocoa. That was
this
so
white
good.
mountain of droppings into rich phosphate, which is a valuable form of fertilizer.
What is that?
to make their farms
What is that? Is that invisible?
Here's a survey map of Nauru. Tiny little island. It's got this lagoon, but this shape
Weird.
right here, everything within this shape is phosphate. It's almost the entire island. Most of the people.
So yeah, they're pretty much just polymetallic nodules. In case you didn't know, it's pretty I mean, so this is what people are like going to the bottom of the ocean for. Is it really that important? Why do I feel like this is like fake? Why do I feel like if we get down there, there's just gonna be nothing? A polymetallic nodule. Okay, buddy, sure. Sure there, buddy.
Now again, there was phosphate here, but there was also, trees and shrubbery, and it was a lush island. But once they discovered how valuable this phosphate was for farming, I mean, you know what happens next.
What happens next? Just people farm?
Germany lets a British company come in and start chiseling off this phosphate to ship it to the farms in their empire. Then Germany gets defeated in World War I, and the British Empire takes over Nauru, continuing to mine this white gold. Bird droppings turned phosphate.
What?
Hundreds
What would you even
of
want?
tons every year in the
Well,
early 1900s.
actually, I guess I
And
could
this
see why
wasn't
you would want an
a drop in
island.
the bucket. One historian summarizes it by saying, without access to phosphate,
Nah, you don't
neither
need no
Australia nor New
islands.
Zealand would have been able to establish the industrial agricultural systems that were fundamental to their demographic, economic, and societal expansion. Going so far as to say, without this phosphate, agriculture in Australia and New Zealand may not have been viable. Like, the British Empire is growing their colonies in Australia and New Zealand with this phosphate that is...
It's what is he reading? Is he reading the screen right there? His words are already super big. But interesting. Okay.
Nauru was able to get those countries to where they are.
So I don't see why this little state would be so popular, Nauru. Unless like these polymetallic nodules, like I don't even know, beach. Like they'll just beach themselves occasionally.
Cost to the user. Cheap, unlimited phosphate fueling the rise of the British Empire in Australia and New Zealand. What did the strip mining do to the landscape?
Completely destroyed it. It's removed what they said was like the lush floor.
It'd be crazy if like one of these tiny metallic nodules were like made of oil, and then you could like take one of those and just put it in like your car, like the place where you put the gas in there. You can just put one of these nodules in there, and then you don't have to worry about gas. Then yeah, let's do some deep sea diving.
All of the trees, everything that was there, they essentially like destroyed all of that, and it made the land completely useless.
A National Geographic
It just like made the land
visits
completely
island
like
in the 20s and documents it, documents the people, their customs, and explores what all this phosphate mining is doing to this island. He describes how phosphate mining is turning this lush island into a quote dismal, ghastly tract of land with its thousands of upstanding white coral pinnacles.
So they're kind of like fracking this island,
Off of phosphate.
just trying to get all the resources.
Other British businessmen. That is until 1968, when Nauru gains its
pretty crazy.
independence. And alongside it, it gains control of the phosphate trade. And what happens next is Nauru gets rich and fast.
The phosphate trade. Okay. What is phosphate used for? I don't see people going around trading phosphate that often. And it's not like a spice or anything. Which I don't even think spices are something that are really like super profitable, maybe. Phosphate. Okay. So it's a P, it's a phosphate atom bonded to oxygens. Interesting. Okay, I wasn't asking for all that. I'll be honest.
This little island went from exploited colony to super rich phosphate producer. By the 1970s, Nauru literally has the second highest GDP
Still doing pretty good
in the world, only behind Saudi Arabia, who's cashing in on their own resource gold rush. So this gray is how much phosphate had been mined by 1967.
Let's go, Sukuna. Let's go. Yeah.
Basically everything. 80%.
I just need to stick to the game plan. Just level up my my ramen cookers.
On Google Maps and you like drop the little man there. It's just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen because you're in the middle of the Pacific. The sand, the coconut trees, the palm trees all there, and then suddenly it's just a big nothing. You take into account that like the country should.
See, the only thing that's missing there is where's the Wi-Fi and the computer? Where's that? And then I'm also gonna need a microwave or something, an air fryer. Do they have that there? I don't think so.
Should look like that little plot that's left. It would have been incredible.
The phosphate was totally depleted, and where once there was lush island vegetation, now stood only desolate, jagged limestone spurs, some up to 15 meters high.
Okay, so I think we're good for now. We can just level up these guys.
To being rich, the government scrambled, attempting to use the money reserves from the phosphate trade to make investments in luxury real estate in Australia. They made some bad bets, like funding
Phosphate
a play
trade.
in London that was a total disaster. These investments were poorly managed and they resulted in failure. So for a century, it was empires.
I think because it's endless, I can just keep on skipping.
Hands on the resource quickly evaporated, leaving them with nothing else. There was no ability to grow anything on this island.
Geez, so the island basically became like a Warhammer 40k planet.
Because Nauru, with no good options, now had to find something
That
to replace
sucks.
their phosphate economy.
They ended up making a lot of bad investments, which led them to then be in a situation of desperation.
People in our isolated.
Dude, my cat is going crazy.
Think that salvation will come from
I can't.
outsiders.
So they start selling passports to their country, which attracts everyone from Russians to Chinese to even alleged Al-Qaeda terrorists who are seeking visa-free entry.
Can we say that? Is that TOS?
They began offering offshore banking licenses with minimal regulatory oversight, turning their island into a giant tax haven. Like this tiny island, at one point was operating 400 offshore banks that eventually attracted $70 billion of Russian money. A lot of it thought to be money laundering by the Russian mafia.
Johnny Harris? I don't even think I've heard of this guy before. But he has 6.85 million subscribers.
This top secret operation reported by this Australian newspaper.
I mean, it's a good video though. It's been very good.
The U.S. offered Nauru cash to set up an embassy in China, but the embassy was apparently only staffed by Westerners and ended up being a front to help smuggle North Korean defectors. Again, probably a lot more there, but
North Korean defectors? Jeez, that's so specific.
After phosphate went away, so let's keep going. They also started taking money from countries in exchange for recognition. Recognition is a big deal within the international community. Countries only exist if other countries recognize them. So China pays Nauru to stop recognizing Taiwan and to recognize China.
Oh God, it's always about
Russia
Taiwan.
pays Nauru to join in on the few other countries that recognize the territories. That
Jeez, guys, come on.
Georgia in 2008. Another clever way to get cash, I guess. Again, they didn't have anything else here. And then, of course, their biggest deal that lasted more than 20 years.
And then Australia just we have a solution for you. It's gonna dump all these refugees that we have into
Bro, I wish everything wasn't behind a microtransaction wall in this game.
To set up these prison-looking camps.
It'd be so fire. Please,
This is where
Roblox.
Australia sent
Please.
refugees or asylum seekers. They didn't want to hold on their land, so they sent them to this tiny island. These camps have become notorious for the deplorable conditions.
Okay, 10 waves
Incident
complete. Let's go.
reports,
Let's go.
Tons of documents, tons of photos, and primary sources from people here.
The detention center that we are living in Nauru is like a prison. We are living behind fences.
But again, we're not
What?
going into this right now. It's a total story.
Nauru is a prison island? Bro, that's crazy.
I tell you all of these things to show you what Nauru was
No, that's
willing to
crazy.
do in search of a new economy after phosphate went away. Eventually, each of these schemes failed or were shut down.
They went from
The US
phosphate to
labeled Nauru a
slaves?
money laundering state, made them get rid of their tax haven banks.
What is that? That doesn't even make sense. Oh, yeah. You know what?
GDP per capita went from
Slave time.
50,000 in the 70s to 12,000 today. A quarter of the population
That's crazy.
lives under the poverty line. The island is rife with pollution, and they basically can't grow anything, making it very difficult to eat fresh food, most of which has to be imported. Which gets us back to this $61 water.
I know about that.
It's kind of a simple.
I know all about having to import food. Sheesh.
Of exploitation, and then
I used to live in the middle of the state, next to no water. If you wanted seafood, it had to be shipped in through a truck.
The smallest island nation in the world is going through a hard time, and this is the context. They're looking for their next economic opportunity.
Okay.
And that gets us back to this patch of ocean where billions of apple-shaped.
Okay, at this point we can just continue to turn on auto skip and just let it ride, baby.
But the upshot is that Nauru has unique rights to this bed of ocean. And once again, they are making a deal with a powerful outsider, a company who stands to make a lot of money off of these little metal apples.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a lot like a repeat of history. It looks like a big, powerful organization coming in, and Nauru, in its desperation, ceding power to a much more powerful entity.
Nauru.
You respond to that idea that this is just a repeat of the same dynamic.
If anyone asks you like, oh yeah, name a country, and you whipped out Nauru,
Do I have it wrong? I'll let
that would go hard.
Move on with this story, which, by the way, gets really juicy because
You'd be
there's a
like,
bunch of updates. I'm recording this
you'd be like the
like
quiz
2
goat.
months later because there's a bunch of updates, and you will see those soon. Right now, I need to thank today's sponsor because sponsors are how we're able to
No.
make these videos. Lately,
We don't do
I've been
sponsors
noticing
here.
that I have been on public Wi-Fi a bunch, kind of in its next big bet to 2-year plan plus 4 extra months at a massive discount. Again, that's NordVPN.com.
Okay, Nauru isn't
Thank you,
real.
NordVPN, for sponsoring today's video and for supporting our journalism generally. And with that, we'll continue this epic story because it just gets more.
Okay,
and
so we
more
got
juicy.
Sukuna there.
Context here.
Let's
It's
get
a
another
big
Sukuna right up
story, and
here.
Originally, I kind of wanted to just focus entirely on Nauru and its history. Alas,
Dude,
we must
Nauru
focus
is
because Nauru is making its next big bet. to
Nauru is the next big place. This is the next California.
And that's where these little metal
That's
apples
it.
finally come back into the story. By the way, I'm gonna stop calling these little metal apples because they're not called that. They are called polymetallic nodule or just nodules. It is a word we should become.
I like how these like little freaking balls are like currency all of a sudden. It's like what?
So billions of nodules are sitting 4.5
What-
kilometers under
what is
the
this?
surface on the seabed. Enter the Metals Company. That's literally what they're called, the Metals Company, TMC. They're a Canadian-based company founded to do one thing, which is to harvest these nodules, which, as you will see, is incredibly controversial.
So this is what it looks like with
Okay, so it's controversial to mine these little metallic nodules. So stupid.
the light shone on it.
I've been talking with the CEO of TMC to try to understand how they plan on.
It would be so cool if it weren't for people being like, no.
How they send these huge vacuums down to the sea floor to suck these nodules up.
You can see how the nodules go.
Oh, they already got people down there.
Now TMC is not allowed to harvest these nodules. No one
That's
is.
crazy.
So what they've been doing for the last 10 plus years is investing $500 million in preparing, in researching, in developing technology, and undergoing all of the complicated rules and requirements necessary to start this.
Yeah, I wish my cat wouldn't do the weird jumping thing that he does.
Public on Wall Street a while back. They raised more
It's
money.
odd.
But the way capitalism works is when you raise money from investors, those investors want a return. TMC has a lot of pressure to make money off of this venture that they've sunk.
This is going very well so far.
How much money is down there if you were to translate that into dollars?
Okay, this is
estimates of
perfect.
something like $16 trillion.
Oh snap, I did not mean to do that.
Now, these nodules have been down there for millions of years, as we saw, but only recently have they become super valuable. And for this, I turned to my friend John.
Perfect placement.
Nodules down
You can't
there
get better
are
placement than
basically
that.
lumps of metal that are sitting in the dark on the floor of the ocean. The nodules are valuable because they contain nickel, cobalt, copper, and manganese. Nickel and manganese are used
No
mostly in
phosphate.
steel production.
No
Copper
phosphate,
is in
though.
basically all of our electronics, and cobalt
Loser.
is actually used in jet engines and like our our phone and laptop batteries.
That's crazy.
But the reason why there's a lot of urgency around this right now is that all 4 of those metals are currently used to build electric cars. What's attractive to mining companies is that it's kind of like you get 4 mines for the price of 1 because you've got 4 big metals that you can sell into markets.
We need more of these metals. We need billions of
God, I'm so lucky to have Zeke on this in my lineup. He's so good. He's so good. It's insane.
Where are we going to get them from? And what will be the impact of getting them both to the environment and to the people living on the planet?
I don't trust this guy right here. I don't know what his deal is, but I don't trust him.
This is not about we need these
kind of-
metals.
he's-
and we
he's a
can't
little
find
sus
them
to
anywhere
me.
else. This is about whether we want to have another source of the metals as they expect the demand to continue in the future.
So you've got TMC and
my cat is so
other
cute.
mostly government subsidized companies
So
out there in this zone where there's a ton of these nodules preparing to harvest them, but they can't yet. They're really close to being able to go down there, but they can't yet for 2 main reasons. The first is that we're not sure what damage this will do to this ecosystem that we've just...
Yo, this is like the Avatar movie. This is literally like the Avatar movie. We're just like coming in and destroying their environment. Yeah, whatever. I mean, there's nothing living down there though. It's not that big of a deal, I think.
You know, anything that gets sucked up with the nodules will die.
What happens if you
Oh.
storms of sediment?
There's going to be a cloud of dust.
Oh, there's creatures that live on the nodules. Clouds of dust.
Dust clouds.
I guess there could be creatures living on it, like comet, little comet, critters or something.
Pollution.
A bunch of artificial sound where it's been totally silent forever.
That's a vast area to expose to new industrial activity.
Vibrations that introduced into the ecosystem. A plume.
Dang.
Plumes.
Okay, so now that everything's set up, I could literally walk away, but then in like a couple rounds, it's gonna amp up even more.
That ecosystem is going to be impacted.
And then there's all of the microbes.
A bunch of microbes.
You know, there's
Okay,
there's
let's
big
just make our
microbes
sukunas really
inside
strong.
that play a role in how our carbon cycle works actually.
Carbon absorption.
Oh, and this is a carbon sink.
The oceans absorb about 25% of the carbon that we pump into the atmosphere.
Usually when humans mess with things, we find that one thing triggers another that we didn't anticipate. This is an untouched part of the world. We don't have a lot of those left. Going, 4,000 years down to mess with that after everything that we've already done. There are creatures that live directly on the nodules. So every time these researchers go down there to take a look,
It's too easy.
There's all this stuff in the dark.
they're basically coming back with some new cool looking invertebrate that no one has ever named or seen before.
My God, the creatures down here are wild looking.
These aren't things with faces.
Things like corals and sponges
It's,
and sea anemones.
This makes me believe that it's not real, even more.
Whoa. Squid worms, gummy squirrels. Sounds like a candy.
All
Gummy
kinds of weird
squirrels.
and interesting fish and other sorts of creatures.
We haven't found these anywhere else on the planet.
And so the idea
Okay.
of possibly destroying some of them before we even known
Okay,
them,
bro,
I
gummy
think rubs a
squirrels,
lot of
huh?
biologists the wrong way.
Okay, there's a lot going on down there. I mean, it's not a lot of density of life, but the complexity, diversity, and potential domino effects here are not well understood and potentially way bigger than first meets the eye. It's not just a desert down there.
I suck at taking this stuff seriously.
Thank you to Joss, who actually taught me how to be a journalist back in the
I just feel like we're not close to exploring the ocean.
town where her and Adam Cole explain how
Every
we know
time it
things.
goes
They made
bad.
a whole video that is live right now about how scientists
Okay,
are
so
researching
1,
this
2.
ecosystem, how we know what animals live down there 4 kilometers under the ocean surface. So go check that out over at Howtown.
But there's another reason why companies aren't allowed to start mining the nodules yet, and it has to do with who gets the money. There's a lot of value in these little metal balls, and the question is, who has the right to
The little metal balls at the bottom of the ocean.
Back in the old days, the answer to that question was easy. Whoever was the most powerful and
It just sounds like a made up
all the
thing.
resources. But our modern world is one of international laws. However weak they sometimes are, we have a framework for deciding what we do with a patch of ocean like this. A patch of ocean, by the way, doesn't belong.
It's like I got that round so easily, and eventually I'm gonna get hammered by in like the next 2 rounds or so. I can already tell.
This document This is basically the rule book.
Even though I just
how
dominated.
The law of the sea should work. It's called UNCLOS, the UN Convention Law of the Sea. We talk about this a lot on the channel. It's a big part of this story starting now. This treaty that
Wait, what?
the entire world has signed, besides a few countries, including the United States, who doesn't like to be constrained by international organizations, says that anything found in this water is the common heritage of mankind. It belongs to everyone. It's the world's resource. And to that end, any money...
This guy kind of looks like Russell Crowe in a way. He kind of looks like a little bit of Russell Crowe.
Made off of this should benefit everyone. The benefit of mankind as a whole is the verbatim language.
Benefit of all mankind as a whole. There we go. The law says that anything found out here in the deep ocean that doesn't belong to any other country belongs to the whole world. Everyone should benefit.
Anything mined or exploited from this area, this international seabed, must be to the benefit of everyone, and it specifically puts emphasis on developing nations. This is trying to level the playing field and make sure that we don't just repeat the same old story of the past. Now, there are a couple ways of making sure that this happens. Number one, in this law, it says that if a rich country wants to go out here and explore for nodules, they have to explore.
Alright, bro. There should be like a dragon and select button. Literally, the whole map is made up of squares. Like, what is happening here?
And here's Mariana drawing a graphic during one of our calls to help explain it. The point is, if you're a developing country, you are entitled to one of these reserved areas that's already been explored by a rich country. You are entitled to exploit it. Okay, that sounds like leveling the playing field. The other big rule is
who made this rule?
Part of the ocean that the whole world owns and exploits it and makes
Who made
money
this
off it,
rule?
has to pay a bunch of that money to the International Seabed Authority, who then distributes it out.
International Seabed Authority.
Which is another way that
Are you joking me right now?
to get in on the riches of the ocean, even if they don't mine it themselves. The other big rule here that affects
Yo, we're almost at 50. Almost at, or we're almost at 40. Look at this fucker. He's just he's freaking going through, bro. What? Oh my, oh no. See, look at now they're all in tanks. It's like, what is happening? Where?
The sponsor country is very important and stands to benefit from this relationship, but also has a big responsibility to regulate the corporation, to make sure that they're following all the rules, that they are making sure that it doesn't destroy the environment.
I don't know if I should ascend Blackbeard or not.
Okay, so that is how this is supposed to work. That is how this treaty says that the knowledge and any resources we find in this international water is to benefit all mankind and level the playing field for developing countries. But those rules
can't decide.
Are currently being stress tested.
What? No.
TMC really wants these nodules, but they're going to have to play by all these international rules we talked about. And one of those rules is that they need a sponsor.
These nodules are weird.
They need a country
Making people go crazy.
And remember how developing countries are entitled to these reserved patches of already surveyed ocean floor? Well, TMC made the rational business decision, and instead of choosing its home country of Canada to sponsor them,
dude, this is insane.
these 3 tiny island nations: Tonga, Kiribati, and one country whose story you know very well now. A desperate and exploited island nation who is looking for their next potential economic miracle.
By getting a developing country, and in this case Nauru, to sponsor them for
Nauru.
licenses that they would be guaranteed nodule.
Nauru's about to be the biggest talk of the town.
Whatsoever.
So here are all
2025. It's coming.
State-run enterprises, and here are all the patches of ocean that TMC has been allocated, thanks to theirs.
Obligatory pause here. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, so apparently Nauru has the key to Atlantis. That's kind of like what I'm getting from this. They just have like the untold treasures of the ocean. Apparently, bro, what? How was he getting through all that? No, that's crazy.
Sponsors. It's nearly half of the reserved areas that have been allocated to countries. So they're all out here
Insane.
surveying, preparing, doing a bunch of research, while the ISA is finalizing the regulations, the environmental protections that any mining operation needs to follow.
These guys are going for it.
They're getting close, but they can't yet.
So this is what it looks like with light shone on it.
Well, geez, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we doing here, bud? Are you not hitting?
The whole point of this sponsorship
What the heck was that?
arrangement is it's a layer of accountability for TMC. Nauru is liable to keep TMC compliant.
Gosh,
with any
dang, man,
environmental
Zeke is
regulations
insane.
in deep sea. So Nauru is required
I guess I lost.
to have
Okay.
enough people and experts and infrastructure to be out there checking in on their operation,
Dang, that
visiting them out of
sucks.
the blue to make sure that they're complying. It's a big job and it's an important job. If they don't do it, they could be screwed if TMC doesn't comply and someone else touches them. The ISA emphasizes this.
At the 47, that was the highest I've ever gotten.
Must have effective control over the company.
Effectively controlled. It says this everywhere. You can't kick them out of the draft.
What is even going on with this place now, dude? I'm literally like, I don't know if I trust this country, Nauru. Okay, this is actually something maybe interesting. The microchip war. I'm sorry, I don't. It's like putting me to sleep, honestly, because we can't go to the bottom of the ocean.
The U.S. and China are fighting a war. It's not a war that you can really see, and it's not.
Oh no. He used to have long hair. That's crazy. Dude, I'll never get you Ulquiorra in this. So sad. 100. Dude, why? Why are you torturing me? One sec. That was in my room. It was just the wind. Gosh, my rug is messed up under me.
Traditional battlefield war with soldiers. Yeah, this is a war that's being fought in government offices and company boardrooms. It's a war that's being fought with rules and regulations, and it's meant to stop rivals from getting their hands on the most important technology in the world. Microchips. You might hear them called semiconductors, microchips, or integrated circuits. These are all the same thing. We're just going to call them chips, microchips, tiny pieces of metal that are magic.
Is there a daily challenge I can do, maybe? Oh, yes.
This is a big thing that's happening.
Easy.
In geopolitics right now.
Too
And we'll
easy.
have to understand the stakes of this new conflict between the U.S. and China. It's going to be the center of global attention for years to come. And what we're seeing right now is how boring trade regulations and
I always thought the microchips were going to cause an issue. Like, if there was ever any tension between us and China, it was always going to be the microchips.
business rules
Which is messed up.
escalate to something that can impact your everyday life. Because your life depends on chips, whether you know it or not. In fact, let me show you.
Every phone I'm pretty sure has a chip.
That has any technological smartness to it is a product of silicon. Oh, and it's not just like the usual suspect techie things. Yep.
I actually don't want the automatic skip on this round.
Silicon. My microwave.
Okay, sure, bro. Just automatically skip already.
Nah, I'm just playing with you. This doesn't have silicon in it. This is just a few little things I found around the office. But like
Boom, 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 and boom.
microwave, like it is in your digital clock. It is what makes our world go.
Alright, we're good. We're good. We're cooking.
Are speaking through silicon right now. Like You are watching this on the internet that is made possible because of silicon on a
Streaming off of a silicone
chip. Like
silicon chip.
Silicon in our world. Besides like the forest.
It's all silicon.
Analog cameras. So microchips make our economy possible, but it's not just tech. It's not just the consumer tech. It's also military. The military needs microchips. They need microchips for weapon systems. They need microchips for intelligence. They need microchips for AI. They need microchips to stay ahead of their rivals. Microchips represent geopolitical power because they represent military power. That's something
Dude,
to keep in mind.
we would lose so much if we didn't have microchips. But if we get those nodules, if we get those polymetallic modules, yeah, we'd be winning. We'd be getting dubs.
I feel really strongly that the internet is a place where you can learn to level up your professional skills. I learned all my skills on the internet. That is how I know how to animate.
You can't be giving me a sponsor right now, bro.
There's DIY. And there's
It's like they're not sponsoring me. Why would I look at their sponsor?
In 1959, the US was about to get very lucky. Computers at the time were becoming a thing, but they kind of looked like this. Tons of wires connecting everything, all of them sending little precise electronic signals to each other to solve tedious, complex math problems. It was clunky, it was inefficient, it wasn't very special, yet. But then American engineers that were working separately at two totally different companies had a very similar idea.
Okay.
And the idea was to get rid of this, all these wires.
So I'm just gonna kind of do the same thing that I did with the last couple of rounds
It's like a
here.
really precise, reliable on and off switch. Allows you to control pulses of electricity. Or super precisely. But at first, transistors looked like this. They were big and lots of points. So the idea was, what if we start carving these little on and off switches onto
Boom, we're
a
done, we're cooking.
material called silicon. It's like a super abundant metal-like material inside of Earth's crust. But it's actually a horrible conductor of electricity. If you mix silicon with other elements, it conducts electricity really well. It is a semi...
Was that phosphorus? Phosphorus?
It conducts electricity really well. It is a semiconductor
Oh, no.
of electricity. Exactly what they needed to precisely
No,
control
not the phosphorus. It's gonna show up everywhere now. I know it.
No more clunky long wires. Let's just carve our little transistor switches onto this silicon chip, a single circuit. That way we can fit a lot more into one place, all close together. So that's what they did. And then the world changed forever.
Microchips are so weird. How do they even make it that small?
Okay, real quick aside.
It's never made any sense to me.
But I was so curious about one thing. Why does being able to precisely control the on and off switch, or like the flow of electricity, do anything to change the world? Well, it turns out, this is where my mind bends a little bit. Just stick with me here. So transistors can turn...
Like when these chips are at like a microscopic level, it like doesn't even make sense how they're made. I don't know, maybe another machine or something, probably.
They send a signal that results in one of two
Maybe.
things, a 1
I
or
don't
a
know.
0 when it gets to the other side. Super boring and useless if you just have one little transistor sending a 1 or a 0. But if you have 1,000 of these
Oh God, I'm
switches all
cooked.
sending little signals in the right order, suddenly you have something that kind of resembles a little brain, firing signals in a coordinated system that can actually solve logical mathematical
I don't think
problems.
Blackbeard can even hit the
This is kind of how our brain works.
ground units.
Pulses, lots of pulses. And now we're talking about computing.
I don't think I need any more of him. Actually, I don't know if I need any more, even one.
You can control the more you can do with technology. And suddenly, there's a new gold rush in the United States. But the gold is now silicon, and the rush is to put as many of these little switches onto that silicon chip as possible so that we can make our technology do more and more sophisticated stuff. And now people have smarter clocks and TVs and radios and video games and calculators. Things that you can hold in your hand and press a bunch of buttons, and suddenly the silicon chip is solving math problems for you instantaneously.
Oh my gosh, I remember when calculators were like coming out. Like the TI-84 was like the new calculator. It's like it just came out.
Hands on these new chips. They dream of using them for more sophisticated weapons or going to the moon. Chips were becoming a currency for national power.
That's crazy.
Gotta protect them, thinks the USA. Luckily, The USA didn't really have to do much to protect them at first. They were killing it. They were the global leaders of this chip making stuff. Every year, U.S. companies crammed more and more transistors.
I think this is good
More
enough.
calculations per second. More and more companies are now cropping up to make dreams come true with their new magical microchips. Lots of this action was happening right here in Central California, in a valley that would soon take on the name of the material that enabled all this magic to happen. By the mid-1980s, they were carving nearly 300,000 little on and off switches onto a piece of silicon. Oh, and look, it's Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. They're using these more sophisticated silicon chips to change the course of history. Home computing, color televisions, more advanced satellites, and smaller electronic devices of all kinds. There's a revolution happening. And over the next 30 years, the number of transistors that they can fit onto a piece of silicon starts to become ridiculous. And it's like the 90s, and these things are getting faster and smaller, and now humans...
What year was this?
And it's like the 90s, and these things are... It's a revolution. Smaller course of history. They're using these more sophisticated silicon chips to change the course of history. Home computing, color televisions, more advanced satellites, and smaller electronic devices of all kinds. There's a revolution happening. And over the next 30 years, the number of transistors that they can fit onto a piece of silicon starts to become ridiculous. And it's like the 90s, and these things are getting faster and smaller, and now humans have computers in their homes that are more advanced
It was
than
like the
ones that
2000s
were
or
used to
something?
land on the moon.
When was this?
They play the typical computer games that all the kids enjoy, but their curiosity...
Oh god, this is not good.
skyrocketed.
And look,
Actually, wow, that actually went really well.
And we are calling it iPhone.
none of this is possible without these little magical brains made of silicon. Okay, but then a problem arises, and it has to do with these. These look like just factories where they make microchips, right? These are not just factories. We have a special name for these. They're called fabs, and they are a central part of this story. Because listen, cramming tens of millions of transistors onto a piece of metal-like substance from the Earth is hard to begin with. But as the number of transistors continues to double and double and double, making them becomes incredibly complicated. I mean, look at these operations. This is inside of a fab, and the reason why it looks like they're doing open heart surgery here is because even a single speck of dust that gets into this fab and onto one of these chips can totally ruin it.
I need to see a video of one being made.
This may be the last ad you ever see. Because with the free ad block extension from Capital One Shopping, you can say goodbye to ads on sites like YouTube.
Get out of my face.
This microchip can take up to 26 weeks to make.
26 weeks?
100 layers. Billions of transistors are packed into an area about the size of a fingernail. They're the brains behind almost everything we use in our increasingly electronic world. Here's how these complex, tiny devices are made. The process begins with silicon-rich sand. Why silicon? Silicon is a semiconductor. It's the sweet spot between an insulator and a pure conductor. That means its properties, such as its conductivity, can be altered by adding impurities or doping to meet the needs of different electronic devices. This also allows us to control the electrical signals that pass through.
I'm literally lost already.
Silicon is also a button.
So... Okay, so, okay. Whatever.
One of the 10 most common elements found on Earth. But much of the silicon found in the wild is chemically bound to oxygen, so the two elements must be separated. The sand is combined with carbon and melted in crucibles to produce carbon monoxide and 99% pure silicon. After further processing, ultra-pure silicon is produced. Next, a seed crystal is placed in contact with molten silicon. As the seed crystal is slowly pulled away, silicon atoms are deposited on the bottom surface. The result is a large cylindrical boule, or a single crystal ingot of pure silicon. The boule is then thinly sliced into wafers. Silicon wafers typically have diameters of 1 to 12 inches, with the most state-of-the-art facilities being able to produce wafers up to 18 inches in diameter. Bigger wafers are, of course, able to yield more microchips. Once the
Holy
silicon
cow.
wafers are cut, the production process begins in full. Microchips are made in extremely sterile conditions, free from contaminants such as dust. If even just one particle of dust makes its way onto a silicon wafer, the entire batch is at risk of being ruined. This would derail
That's
a
so
process that can
insane.
take an average of 12
Microchip is like
weeks.
a
The
alien
first step
technology.
of the production
Seems
process
like.
is deposition. A thin, non-conducting layer of silicon dioxide is grown or deposited on the surface of the wafer. Then the silicon wafer is prepared for lithography by coating it with
What?
This would derail a process that can take an average of 12 weeks.
What?
When growth makes its way onto a silicon wafer, the entire batch is at risk of being ruined. This would derail a process that can take an average of 12 weeks. The first step of the production process is deposition.
Deposition.
A thin, non-conducting layer of silicon dioxide.
So you have to change the chemical,
Then the silicon
like the chemical whatever, compound or whatever.
with photosensitive and light-resistant oxide is
Oh no.
grown or deposited on the surface of the wafer. Then the silicon wafer is prepared for lithography by coating it with photosensitive and light-resistant materials. The next step is very critical: exposure. The prepared silicon wafers enter a lithography machine and are exposed to UV light passed through a reticle containing the chip's blueprint. The areas exposed to light are hardened, while unexposed areas are then etched away by hot gases to leave a three-dimensional microchip. The electrical conductivity of different parts of the chip can also be altered by doping them with chemicals under heat and pressure. This process can be repeated hundreds of times for the same.
It's just like a Minecraft
producing
square.
a more complex integrated circuit at each step. To create conducting paths between the components, a thin layer of metal, such as aluminum, is overlaid onto the chip, and the etching process is used to remove everything except the thin conducting pathways. Several layers of conductors separated by glass insulators.
Bro,
can be
what
laid
the
down.
heck was
The
that?
process is used to remove everything except the thin conducting pathways. Several layers of conductors separated by glass insulators can be laid down. Each chip on the wafer is then tested for performance before it's separated from other chips on the wafer by a saw. Since microchips are essentially circuits built on an incredibly small scale, they have a basic set of components. Capacitors can temporarily store an electrical charge. Resistors help control the electrical current. Transistors can either
Yeah, it just makes no sense. This is like the technology that they find in the future, and they're just like, what? It's like that was aliens.
or switch the electrical signals passing through. For more advanced chips, like those found on high-end graphics cards, there can be upwards of 28 billion transistors on board. More transistors on microchips allow them to send out more instructions, increasing the computational power. Moore's law predicts that computer chip manufacturing would advance at a steady rate, allowing transistor counts to more transistors on microchips allow them to send out more instructions, increasing the computational power. Moore's law predicts that computer chip manufacturing would advance at a steady rate, allowing transistor counts to double every 2 years. Based on the sheer power of the technology we use on a day-to-day basis, this decades-old prediction seems to still be mostly true.
The fact that it grows like that is like,
Shrinking down their transistor sizes
it's so
to fit
freaky.
more onto chips. Each breakthrough in transistor size has allowed the production of more powerful chips for our phones, computers, and gaming consoles. In recent years,
They all
they've
just
got
have
each
chips.
transistor down to as small as 8 times 10 to the power of negative 8 inches in diameter.
Makes no
allowing
sense.
An amazing 50 billion transistors to be crammed onto a single
I guess
chip.
that well,
Manufacturing microchips is
I mean, you could see that in like the graphics cards that come out every year.
innovations are happening every day.
It's good for like video games, I guess. What else is it good for? God, that's crazy. Yeah, I had no idea that microchips were done in places like that. That's very weird. Apparently, like by like year 2300, if our data, if just like the data that we have in our phone and on the internet just continues to grow at the pace that it's at right now, by the year 2300, we're apparently going to have a moon, or something of data that would weigh the same amount as the moon by 2300. So there's just going to be data that weighs that much on our planet. So that's just weird. Freaky stuff though. How's Bluetooth work? Oh god, I got to like a different side of the internet, I guess. Her laptop's made. I guess since I'm on the microchip, I should probably stick with like something similar to that. Inside China's top factory? Yo, let's go. Please, dude, how do I not? What's the point? What's like the goal to not get copyrighted?
Step 2, get online in 15 minutes.
Because that would be great. Okay, what am I doing here? What am I doing? I'm kind of bored with this right now. Can't even lie. There was apparently an update with that game where they added like Crollo or something, but I'm not seeing any Crollo. Dang, I'm pretty strong in this lobby, I gotta say. Oh, I'm the strongest pirate. Okay, let's go. What should I do? So I already got my fruit. Are we just what's going on here right now? There's no talking. There's no talking on this video. That makes no sense. I don't have a graphics card on this computer, thankfully. But I know some people who have computers and they have to buy like graphics cards like every year.
100 million? Well, 100 million calculations a second is what's required to run Mario 64 from 1996. We need more power. Maybe 100 billion calculations a second? Well, then you would have a computer that could run Minecraft back in 2011.
Dude, Minecraft's so good.
Realistic video games, Cyberpunk 2077, you need a graphics card that can perform around 36 trillion calculations a second.
36 trillion.
This is an unimaginably large number. So let's take a second to try to conceptualize it. Imagine doing a long multiplication problem once every second. Now let's say everyone on the planet does a similar type of calculation, but with different numbers. To reach the equivalent computational power of this graphics card and its 36 trillion calculations a second, we would need about 4,400 Earths filled with people. all working together and completing one calculation each every second. It's rather mind-boggling to think that a device can manage all these calculations. So in this video, we'll see how graphics cards work in two parts. First, we'll open up this graphics card and explore the different components inside, as well as the physical design and architecture of the GPU, or graphics processing unit. Second, we'll explore the computational architecture and see how GPUs
Honey,
Wait, what?
a plane plummets out of the sky. A speedrunner inexplicably jumps to a higher platform.
What the?
And an election recount is triggered. All because of the same invisible phenomenon that permeates the universe. On May 18, 2003, voters in Belgium went to the polls. In many regions, voting was done on a computer, something the Belgians had been experimenting with for over a decade.
Are you serious right now, bro?
But the system had a backup. Each voter would insert a magnetic card into the machine and make their selection on screen. Their vote was saved both to the computer and the magnetic card, which they dropped into a box for redundancy. Late that night, as the votes were being tabulated, one of the election officials detected a problem with the results from Schaerbeek, a municipality in central Brussels. Maria Vindevogel, a little-known candidate with her own party, received more votes than was mathematically possible. They knew this because of the way the preferential voting system works. So they took out the magnetic cards and started a recount. One by one, they fed each of them through the machines again. After several hours, the recount was complete. The vote totals for every candidate were exactly the same as before, except for Maria Vindevogel. In her case, the recounted number of votes was less than the original by 4,096. So what went wrong? How had her original tally been inflated by over 4,000 votes? Computer experts were brought in to run extensive tests on the software. They combed through the code but could find no bugs. They got the computer that had made the initial erroneous tally and tested the hardware again and again, but they could not replicate the error. Everything about the hardware seemed to be in perfect working order. And this left only one possible explanation, and it is seriously weird. The clue comes from the excess number of votes Vindevogel received, 4,096. Computers work using binary, strings of zeros and ones, each corresponding to a power of 2. So somewhere inside the computer tabulating all the votes was a string of bits representing the number of votes Maria received. It started the day all zeros, and then as each vote for her came in, it would increment by 1. Physically, this is done by turning on a transistor for 1 and turning it off for 0. What's remarkable about the number 4,096 is that it is exactly a power of 2, 2 to the power of 12. That is the 13th bit. So for Maria Vindevogel to receive an extra 4,096 votes, only one thing needed to happen. The 13th bit had to flip from a 0 to a 1. But why would that happen? Computers work precisely because bits don't flip unless we want them to. Or do they? Looking into the problem, Belgian investigators found reports of similar issues from big computer companies
Let's get through this thing.
1970s. In 1978, Intel reported some strange errors popping up in their 16 kilobit dynamic random access memory, or DRAM. Ones would spontaneously flip to zeros with no apparent cause.
Got cooked.
The problem turned out to be the ceramic packaging the chip was encased in. With the demand for semiconductor packaging skyrocketing in the 1970s, a new manufacturing plant was constructed on the Green River in Colorado. Unfortunately, this site happened to be just downstream of an old uranium mill. Radioactive atoms made their way into the river and then into the ceramic packaging for Intel's languages.
Chill out, bro.
Intel scientists investigating the problem found that even trace amounts of uranium and thorium in the ceramic were sufficient to cause problems.
In their DRAM, memory was stored as the presence or absence of electrons in a semiconductor well. The alpha particles emitted by uranium and thorium were energetic and ionizing enough to create electron-hole pairs in the silicon. If an alpha particle struck in just the right place, it could create a large number of free charge carriers, causing electrons to accumulate in the well, flipping a 1 to a 0. This is known as a single event upset, a type of soft error. The error is soft because the device hasn't been damaged. The bit has changed, but you could erase it and rewrite it with no problems. Investigators exposed the chips to alpha emitters with different levels of activity, and just as you'd expect, they found the number of bit flips directly correlated with the number of alpha particles the chip had been exposed to. The reason this problem was identified in the 1970s was because chip components had been miniaturized to the point where a single alpha particle could produce enough charge to flip a bit. Immediately, these findings attracted a lot of attention. Before the paper was published, it was widely circulated in the industry. As a result, chip manufacturers were a lot more careful to avoid radioactive materials when producing their microchips and packaging. Therefore, the bit flip that gave Maria Vindevogel 4,096 extra votes wasn't caused by natural radioactivity in the computer. So where did it come from? After Henri Becquerel discovered radioactivity with uranium in 1896, scientists sought a way to measure it. How radioactive were different materials? And one way to do this is with a gold leaf electrometer. When it's charged, the leaf is repelled, and you can measure the amount of charge by the angle of the leaf. Now, if ionizing radiation enters the chamber, it rips electrons off air molecules, creating positive and negative charges. Opposite charges are attracted to the leaf, discharging it over time.
Bro,
the
that
higher
makes
the level
no
of ionizing
sense.
radiation, the faster the device discharges. In 1910, Theodore Wolff took his electrometer to the top of the Eiffel Tower. Since radioactivity was found in the soil and rocks of Earth, he expected that 300 meters up, the radiation would be just a few percent of the ground radiation. Instead, he found only a slight decrease. In 1911, Austrian physicist Victor Hess decided to take this experiment further.
Just wait. Oh, shit, 3 minutes. Okay,
He
cool.
loaded electroscopes into the basket of a hydrogen balloon.
Let's go.
In his first 2 flights, he observed the same thing as
Yo,
Wolff.
guys, I just want to
To an
say if you
altitude
stuck
of
around
1100
for at all, anytime at all,
trips revealed
thank you very
no
much.
fundamental
I
change
appreciate
in
that.
radiation compared to the values observed.
I'll be back tomorrow, most likely.
But the next year, he conducted 7 balloon flights up to an altitude of 5,200 meters.
This guy's a god.
He discovered something remarkable. While there was an initial drop in radiation for the first several hundred meters, above 1 kilometer or so, the level increased with
I'm about to get the
increasing
best sleep ever.
At his maximum height, the level of radiation was several times greater than it was on the ground. The radiation appeared to be coming not from the Earth, but from the sky. Hess scheduled one of his balloon flights during a solar eclipse, and as the moon passed in front of the sun, he carefully watched
This guy's a
his
mad
instruments.
scientist.
But the readings were unaffected. Even with the sun half covered, the level of radiation was the same. Since no influence of the eclipse on the penetrating radiation was noted, we conclude that even if a part of the radiation should be of cosmic origin, it hardly emanates from the sun. Victor Hess had discovered cosmic rays, high-energy radiation from space. But what were these
Boss, are you
rays
serious?
exactly, and where were they coming from? Well, today we know they aren't electromagnetic rays, as many suspected, but particles. Around 90% are protons,
someone is
9% are
beating all the
nuclei,
bosses.
and 1% are heavier nuclei.
What's going on here?
Some of them are from the sun, but they have comparatively low energy. High energy cosmic rays moving very close to the speed of light come from exploding stars, supernovas,
After this, I
our own
am
galaxy,
probably going to be
and
finishing up here.
others. And the highest energy particles are thought to come from black holes,
let's see.
including the supermassive black holes at the centers of galaxies. But it's hard to pin down exactly where
I have to wait
cosmic
one
rays
more
come
minute.
from, because as charged particles, they're
Okay,
reflected by
here,
the
time to
black
boss
holes
run
in
really
space.
fast. Boss
So
rush.
they can
Let's go.
find their way through the universe for billions of years. A
I already
cosmic
know
ray
someone
detected
took out the
on
boss.
October 15th, 1991.
Of course, they're just hunting the
an energy
bosses.
Of 51 joules. That is a single subatomic particle with the energy of a baseball going 100 kilometers per hour. For obvious reasons, it was dubbed the OMG particle.
What was that?
But primary cosmic rays like these don't make it down to Earth's surface. Instead, they collide with air molecules around 25 kilometers above the ground and create new particles, like pions. These collide and decay.
This guy can't do anything.
Like neutrons, protons, muons, electrons, positrons, and photons.
Weak.
Which in turn collide with other air molecules.
Okay, let's see.
One long
So I should be able to get a fruit now.
So from a single primary cosmic
Different
ray
fruit.
comes a shower of particles
Maybe.
streaming towards the Earth.
Dude, if I got a kitsune or a gas fruit
Investigators
or anything that was mythic,
transistor
that
in
would
a
be
computer
awesome.
In Belgium,
Let's see.
flipping the 13th bit from a 0 to a 1 and giving Maria Vindevogel 4,096
I have to wait 0 minutes.
votes. But how often do things like this happen? In 1911, Charles Wilson made it possible to see the cosmic rays all around us when he perfected his cloud chamber.
Yo, new Vsauce
An
video?
enclosure with
What?
supersaturated water or alcohol vapor. When a cosmic ray passes through the
I'm gonna have to
chamber,
watch that
it
tomorrow.
ionizes the gas, causing vapor to condense.
Okay, let's see.
into
Let's
tiny
see what I can
droplets
get.
on the ions, revealing the path of the particle. Alpha particles.
I have to wait 0 minutes. Oh my
leave
goodness!
short,
Come on.
thick tracks, while beta particles, electrons, leave long, skinny trails. In 1932, Carl Anderson identified a trail that looked
Sound
like
fruit?
it was made by an electron.
Alright, cool. Third time getting the sound fruit today. That's crazy. I'm just gonna put it like right up here.
Anderson had
I'm gonna
found
put it up
the
here in the rafters.
Or positron. It was the first
Okay, I'm just gonna put it right up here on the bench.
4 years later, also using a
Alright.
cloud chamber, he discovered the muon, again in cosmic
There you go.
rays.
You can have it, bro.
For his discovery of the positron,
He took
Anderson
that
was
so
awarded
quick.
the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1936. He shared the prize.
Okay, well, I unfortunately haven't been paying too much attention to this video, but it is interesting. Veritas seems to know. He's, I like his videos. Him and Vsauce for sure. But yeah, that's it for the night, though. I have some stuff I got to do tomorrow morning. So, if you're here, have a good night. I'll see you guys most likely tomorrow.